Katisha, you have an unnatural allegiance to losers that I cannot explain nor calculate. Okay? It is sad. But what's sad is you have me defending a man, a Nigerian one. Welcome back to Bnystake. I'm your girl Benny, and today I'm bringing you yet on my couch again for a more relaxed type kind of atmosphere. I'm fabulous as always. Yeah, see the hair, it ain't mine, but we claiming it. Okay, I did a little crochet situation because I just kind of wanted that natural look, and it was a style I could do for myself, so we did do that. How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing fabulous. I hope you're feeling fabulous. Today, I've been tired and I almost didn't even record this video, but I feel like I have a lot to say about Love is Blind UK because y'all are not understand, like y'all are not clocking it in. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all are not clocking it in to stand on business, and that's a problem. What did brother Justin Bieber tell the people of God? You're not getting it. You're not clocking. It's not clocking to you that I'm standing on business. Y'all are not standing on business for me, and it's a problem. Why are y'all seated? Why are the girlies seated? Yeah, now? But before we get into all that, if you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. I will not be before you long. We're going to keep it cute. We're going to keep it mindful. I'm going to be reviewing episode 1 all the way till episode... what is it? Episode 8, like the last one right before the weddings and the things. I almost didn't do this, but I was like, I love me a good Love is Blind video, so let's just go ahead and do it. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. Be serious with me, because I know y'all not serious on this Love is Blind. Be serious with me. I ain't asking y'all to go ahead and go to the altar and say you do to me blindly. All I'm asking is you go ahead and find the subscribe button, click it, and turn the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. That's it. That ain't even major. You know what I'm saying? Like the people of God, they're out here getting proposed to blindly. They're listening to the spleen, and the spleen is telling them whether they should propose or not blindly. All I'm asking y'all is to subscribe. Yeah, now? So go ahead and subscribe, and let's just go ahead and get into this. So for this season of Love is Blind, I'm going to actually do things differently because I don't want to waste time introducing everybody that's irrelevant to the conversation. I'm just going to pair them up as they came about, right? First things first, we're going to talk about our good brother, Mr. Spleen. Okay? And his connection with Anu. Sis, I love you, but as I was watching that, I was like, well, where is the spine for the women of God? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is the spine for the women of God? I'm sorry. Gorgeous black girl. But again, locate the spine for the women of God. The minute that baby said he be listening to his spleen as the way to, you know, lead his life, and you sat there and gave him a second date, you guys to explain some things to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is beyond, like, the sense, at this point, it wasn't in Yemen, I promise you, because I went there and I checked. The sense was not in Yemen. So for those that have not watched the show, so you had this guy right here, Patrick, who connected with this woman over here, Anu, and the whole time, this man was talking about his spleen.
Trusting my splenic instincts right in the moment, and I think when it comes to it, it's something that I can't switch on or switch off. I won't question it, and I will always follow it because it's never led me astray.
Every 5 seconds, how you doing, Patrick? Oh, you know, my spleen, my spleen, my spleen, my spleen. And I'm just kind of like, I knew. You don't, like, it's not clocking to you. I'm talking about you couldn't find your gut to listen to. This baby couldn't listen to his heart. This baby could not listen to his brain. No, he done left all those parts of his body that he could have been listening to. Because you know how people be having like their intuition, like that gut feeling. or like, you know, just like in my heart of heart, I'm feeling the things. No, this baby, it was his spleen. It was his spleen the whole time, and I know you sat there and took it. Why? That baby gave nothing and a half plus a spleen. Calculate. What does that add up to? Okay, you got nothing and a half plus a spleen. What that equal to? If not a scheme that I set up to come and waste my time and waste the time of the people of God online. What the heck is a spleen? And I knew you sat there. So at one point, this baby gonna be like, oh, can you sing for me? Because Anu is a singer. She's a musician. You know, she be singing the things. And she was like, no, I don't really want to sing. And then it got really weird because apparently, according to Patrick, his spleen being asked him for Anu to go ahead and sing for him. Sing for me, mommy, sing, I love you. Sing for me, mommy, sing, I love you. Y'all know that song with what's her name? I forget her name. Janae Aiko. Sing to me, mommy, sing, I love you. Sing to me, mommy. I think it's a song she has with like her daughter. But why Mr. Spleen gonna get mad that this baby ain't want to just like sing and announce on a date? What kind of request is that? We're just talking. We just talk because you know, my spleen is over here in the spleen. Can you sing for me? And Anna's like, no. Who sings in the comment down below? Have you ever sung in the middle of a date unannounced? Have you ever been asked to sing in the middle of a date? But this spleen got upset and asked this baby to go ahead and sing. So she gonna say no, she don't sing. And then after, you know, it gets really weird and gets really awkward. You know, he gets upset at her because he gonna talk about how, like, you know, she's not confident. It just really was weird. And then she gave him a second chance again. But this time around, she actually went into the whatchamacallit, the girls' court, the girls' lounge or whatever, and wrote him a song. She wrote him an original song for her to go ahead and sing to him. Mind you, this baby be talking and listening to his spleen. Unless you're in the medical field. Where y'all spleen located? Because until this show, I didn't even knew I had a spleen. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even knew the people of God had a spleen. Where the spleen be at? This baby not only being found his spleen, the only thing he listened to is his spleen.
Like, I've had this thing where I follow my spleen.
Oh, how interesting.
Sometimes us ladies, we don't be listening. Right? Like, we really, when men tell us certain things, I feel like we be having certain perceptions that we have, and we be having certain ideas that we've created. But when these men be telling us things, we need to clock in with our brains. Like, we need to clock in with like our listening skills, and we need to actually process what is being said to us, not just what we want to hear. Because Anu and Mr. Spleen, why was they having a conversation about just like faith?
Okay, I am a Christian.
Yeah.
Like, I do pray.
Yes.
I do fast.
Yeah.
I do read my Bible. So how does that fit in like with your lifestyle?
She lets us know that she's a Christian and that her faith is very important to her. And again, if you want to marry across religions, if it works for you, it works for you. It's never something that I think, you know, would work for me just like in long term when it comes to like raising kids. Like, which way we gonna go? Like, are we gonna say maybe like you're an atheist, like, and I want to take my kids to church, you're gonna have a problem with that? Or whatever the case, like, that's something that I want to make sure we're in agreement with, right? So why are they talking about religion? And she says, and I quote, her faith is very important to her. And, you know, she listens to the Holy Spirit and she loves God. You know, God is at the center of her life, this, that, and the third. And they're clearly not aligned. But for some reason, it literally goes over this girl's head, so much so that she comes back for a second date. And I'm just kind of like, Anu, sis, a lot of us, we got to pay attention when these men are talking. We can't overly romanticize what is actually being said to us. This man is a human design coach. Like, what is it about that sounds like, you know, churchy to you? Like, he's a human design. Like, what is it about that sounds like, okay, we actually align? This is like chaos waiting to happen. He's a human design coach who uses spirituality to go ahead and, well, coach people. Cool. But from you as a believer, it didn't sound like it aligned. It didn't sound like it aligned with you.
I was raised Christian, Catholic actually, done like Holy Communion and confirmation. So yeah, like Christianity was actually a massive part of my life.
I'm a Christian currently, not before Christ. Right now, you know, BC time. Currently, I'm a Christian. I wake up in the morning, I be praying. I be calling my family, I be praying. I be reading my Bible. Like, I practice Christianity. How does that tie with you and what you got going on, you and your spleen? How does that tie? Oh my gosh, it's actually really beautiful. I was a Christian. I was raised Catholic. Christianity was an active part of my life. Was. Now I'm a Christian, right? I'm not even saying this because I'm a Christian and I want to ride for Christianity. That's not even the point. You could insert a Muslim, you know, man or woman right here, and my point will still be the same. Faith is an important part of people's relationships, right? Especially if one is practicing one currently and you are not, you were. Past tense. Because if something does, you know, come about, you trying to pray, you trying to go ahead and, you know, listen to the Holy Ghost, they're going to be sitting in a corner waiting for their spleen. He says this. Let's listen to her response.
Oh, thank you, Patrick. You're so kind.
So are you, honestly. I really love your voice as well, you know, it's very...
Oh, God.
No, seriously.
He says all that, how he used to pray. He was, you know, he did the communion, he did the convocation, or whatever the case is within Catholicism. And I think it's really beautiful, right? Something that was in my past, I think is really beautiful. She responds with, oh my gosh, that is so sweet. You are too kind. Girl. Past tense. In the present, you gonna have to deal with his spleen. His spleen. Patrick is so kind. Oh my gosh, that's so kind. And then later on in her confessional, she's gonna talk about like, oh my gosh, Patrick is so deep. Sometimes y'all confuse things that are deep for things that you may just not really understand and things that you may just not really know. It don't make people deep. Right? It don't make people deep. It don't make people deep. Sometimes pick up a book, learn a thing or two. Right? Now I got to go ahead and figure out where my spleen is at. But just because he mentioned the spleen, that don't mean this baby is deep. Because ultimately they don't work out. They don't work out because he was saying certain things that you just wanted to romanticize and glamorize. Ultimately, he breaks things off with her because of his spleen. Ultimately, he was very critical of her. So many, you know, little scenes, very critical of her. Ultimately, he breaks it off because of the spleen, because of the very difference that you decided to ignore. He ends things with her, and later on, when they end up meeting in person, doing their like little, you know, mixers that they do with all the couples and the stuff, this baby cusses him out clean. I'm talking about Anu was not playing. Okay, Anu was not playing. You a liar, you a liar, you a liar. Called him everything but a child of God. Everything but a child of God. All that could have been avoided when he told you exactly where the biggest differences in your life was, if you clocked it in and was like, But his answer went over your head. In the past, he was. Currently, he's not. So when you're trying to pray, he going to be listening to his spleen. And ultimately, it was the spleen that decided the end of your relationship. Even though you were sitting over here trying to fight for this relationship that gave nothing and a half the whole time. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm overreaching, but comment down below and let me know if you've watched the show. Comment down below and let me know. And so then you have the next couple, Barda and Jeb, and the two of them connect. The two of them didn't have any like crazy red flags. They connected. They went to their little, trip. He proposed. We don't really get to see anything per se happen between them that could cause like a little friction or anything like that. But later on, we kind of learn a little bit about just like their differences as far as just like she's very independent. Like she grew up being very, very independent. And so she feels as though he might struggle to adjust with her being, an independent woman who really can do for herself. She doesn't care to have a lot done for her. Like, she gave an example, like on the first date, you can pay for the meal or whatever, you can pay for the activity. But like next one, I got it. I don't want to be like a stay-at-home mom. I don't want to sit over here and like rely on the man. She's very much just kind of like, I got my own. I don't need you. Like I want you, but I don't like really, really need you like that. And so he was just talking about how much like, oh, that could be a problem because like, he's an alpha male. He likes to, he likes to be in charge. He likes to lead and do the things. And I didn't really care about them together, honestly. But as far as like the conversation around like, being independent and like, having, somebody lead and somebody follow, I've always been of the mindset that even submission and leadership within a relationship, within a marriage in particular, is and should always be mutual, right? Submission should always be mutual. If I know this is your strongest suit, if I know this is something that you do so well, I'm not going to try to insert myself for the sake of just like showing off like, oh, I can sit over here, I can be independent, I can lead. Like, no. Ideally, I would love, for all of us to choose partners who we feel safe enough, who we trust enough that there could be certain things that they're better, than us. And we just let them lead that one and we just like follow. Vice versa, if there's something that I'm good at, please, not too much. You can follow. You can follow my guidance as well. You can follow my lead as well. I've never been the kind of person to just be like, oh, women need to go ahead and just like follow men because just like men lead. Men can lead at certain things that they're strong in, but so can women. So can women. And a sensible person, man or woman, will recognize their strength, but also their area of growth and be like, you know what? My partner is better off at this. I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to follow their path. I'm going to follow their lead. We're discussing everything, obviously, right? And vice versa. A man should follow a woman should follow a man. But that comes from you, first of all, having a man that has shown himself to be trustworthy, that has shown himself to actually be strong in whatever it is that you're trying to trust their leadership on. If you're not good with money, I'm never submitting to you when it comes to money. I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that. I'm never doing that just because like, oh, you're a man. No. If I understand how to plan and I understand how to budget, I understand how to invest, I understand all these things. If I'm very well versed at that, yes. Let's come together. Follow me in this. I can help teach you. Follow me in this. If it's something that's like my strong area, follow me in this. That makes for a beautiful partnership. right? That leadership and that submission is an ebb and flow. It should always be mutual. Everybody will always be good at something better than the other person. If I'm good at math and I'm good at carrying the three and doing the things, because y'all know I'm very good at math, okay? If I'm calculating some things and I'm better at it than you, when it comes to math, you follow my leadership. If you're good at, writing or whatever the case is, follow my leadership. I will help you so that together we are strong. Right? And I'm giving this as like really poor examples, but like finances, like planning, like all these different things within a marriage. Certain things a man will be better at, but other things a woman will be good at as well. And it should always be mutual, right? And for Barter and Jeb, I just pray that she's able to recognize the strengths in him and just like allow herself to rest and have somebody do for her. But I also pray and I hope that he's not, stubborn and just like, strong headed. That's going to think like, oh, because he's a man, that somehow he should just lead things that she may be better at. Nah. Sit your behind down and follow the person that knows and has experience in certain things. That to me actually makes for a beautiful leadership in a man that can recognize like, dang, I don't know everything. Let me see this one out and follow my woman. And also know like, nah, babe, like this one, I got you. Follow me. Beautiful. But like the two of them, they get on really well. The preview show like maybe some drama might be coming up. I don't know. We'll see again, next week, Wednesday. But I don't really have any particular thoughts, when it comes to them. One thing I did want to see though, I just kind of wanted to see Barter without her makeup. Comment down below if you had that thought a little, because I was just kind of like, dang, like even on a regular day, it felt like she had a full beat of makeup consistently. And I'm like, you don't ever do like a light low makeup, like a low everyday makeup. It's like your eyelids might be tired from like all the, it's like right here. Like every scene, this is Barter right here. Right here, like Barter. Like what is going on? Very pretty girl. But it's like, can we just do like a light low concealer or just like have a plain face or something? It just felt like I don't know what this girl looks like. All the other girlies, like you saw them in the morning, you saw them just like, regular schmegular. I am yet to see Barter just like with the, one no makeup or like maybe light makeup. It's just like a full beat every time. And her mascara seems to want to just like lay right here. Like right here every time. Like you see the caking of her, whatchamacallit, of her freaking concealer. And then you have the little like mascara that just like maybe like drooled all over. It's just like it's too much. Like I just comment down below. Maybe I'm just being maybe I'm just doing too much. But I just wanted to see her. Like I just like girl, like you gorgeous. Like I just wanted to see her either with no makeup or just like something very minimal. Comment down below, let me know if that's just me. Then you have Sroa and Cal. Sroa and Cal, I believe Sroa, she has like, Indian heritage. I feel like Cal is either from Pakistan or has like some Pakistani heritage or whatever the case is. Not really sure. But that was maybe like a low point of contention between the two of them. But, they love each other, it seems. And so they're getting on well. And one of the biggest hiccup was that, Cal has never really dated, like an Indian girl or just like any person of, color. He's always dated the blondes, just given from, the neighborhood that he lives in, like where he grew up. Just whoever was around him was just like, blondes and just like a bunch of, white people and whatnot. So you had Sroa, who felt insecure about that a little bit. But eventually, I think they worked through it. And the other thing that happened with them is essentially like, the mom, like Sorova's mom wasn't really feeling it. She just didn't want to be bothered with, you know, the whole relationship that started like 2.5 seconds ago, and all of a sudden her baby got to go ahead and be married. The mama wasn't feeling all that, but eventually the mama comes around and the two of them, you know, they seem to get on well. Again, maybe I'm missing something, but at the same time, I didn't really see enough of me to be like, okay, it could be like maybe a problem. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see by next week who gonna make it and who not gonna make it. The one thing that just was a little annoying to me about Cal, it just the dude is very, I don't want to say intense, but sometimes this man don't know how to mind his business. Right? Because there's another couple who we gonna get into. Katisha girl. Katisha. But like the way he was getting into other people's business annoyed the bejesus up out of me. Like, mind your business. Worry about the girl that you done met blindly, proposed to blindly, and is about to get married to in 2.5 seconds. Worry about that. Leave everything and everybody else alone. The way he started inserting himself in issues that ain't had nothing to do with him, I was just kind of like, bruh, chill out. Chill out. Okay, like pump the brakes. Leave it to the viewers. We're going to talk about it. We're going to have all the commentary. You worry about yourself. Right? Worry about yourself and your hair. What was wrong with his hair, y'all? What was wrong with, like, he had his hair like just right here. Like, what's that haircut? You need to get you a new barber immediately. We need a better style for you. Like, it just, the style just made him look very intense, not at all flattering. But she seems to be attracted to him and he seems to be attracted to her. So who am I to say? I cannot stand nothing that the good Lord put together. Yeah, now, or whatever it is that you people believe in. If it's like whatever Buddha put together, I cannot stand that. Yeah, now, whatever the gods, the things, I can't stand another damn thing. So, matter of fact, don't listen to me. And last thing before I move on from Sroa and Cal, when they were meeting the mom, when they met Srova's mom, I comment down below and let me know. I didn't really like the answer that he gave because the mama asked, like, what is it about my daughter that stood out to you? Maybe he just was nervous. But why was this baby talking about, oh, you know, her accent was really cute and, you know, fitness. And I'm just like, the accent and the fitness, that's what set her apart from everybody else. Not like her character, not her integrity, not how soft-spoken she is, not how understanding she is, not how confident she is. None of that. It was the accent and the fitness. Maybe they were edited wrong, but like this right here, just it didn't make no sense to me at all.
I'm going to be honest, I like the posh of an accent. So we're obviously both into fitness.
Like maybe I'm the drama, but you fell in love with me blindly because of my accent and my fitness. That's the most you could tell my mama. Maybe it was just nerves, but I was just kind of like, really, fitness and accents? That's all you could gather to come and tell somebody whose daughter you trying to marry blindly within a matter of 2 weeks. The accent in it, very massive in it. Like, come on. That was just like low vibrational to me. It didn't give. But comment down below again so far. She seemed to like him. He seemed to say he liked her, even though this is the first girl he's ever like dated that wasn't a blonde, right? That was a concern that they kind of experienced a little bit when they did their little, you know, whatchamacallit, the couples retreat. But otherwise, it hasn't come up in a negative way. When he saw the other people, like the other blondes and the other people at the mixer, he didn't like drool, unlike other people that we're going to get into. He didn't like do a whole lot of drooling or whatever the case is. So we will see next week if they're going to get married. Is this a couple that I'm necessarily like, oh my gosh, you know, they're cute. Well, she's cute. You know what I'm saying? So then we have Kieran, and Megan. And one thing about Megan, she gonna be like, like a bug gonna fly in your mouth first class. Close that mouth. Megan, how you doing? I'm good. How was your day? It was actually fantastic, innit? Okay? A mosquito gonna fly spirit and land on your tongue. Okay? A bug gonna land on the roof of your mouth. Nobody. Here go Megan. Why she like, oh my gosh. Why she open her mouth that wide? Okay? Gorgeous girl. She's so pretty. I love her. She's really, really pretty. Great dancer. She's a dancer in real life. And she paired up with this guy, Kieran. And, you know, Kieran had like a love triangle going on between, you know, him, Megan, and this other girl, Sophie, who was just like insufferable. Like, the girl was insufferable. And she was insufferable because I feel like she's so used to relying on her looks to land men in real life that on these parts, she literally gave nothing and a half for this man to connect on. Like, this man was like, okay, I feel like our conversations are just like very much like, you know, superficial. I really want to get deep. And she was just kind of like, well, you know, I don't like, you know, dropping down my walls. I don't like doing none of this stuff. And I'm like, girl, it's a wall between both of y'all already. Another wall has to come down. Give this baby something. She was just like very nonchalant and very just like really chill, like way too chill, as if it's like she already had this man in her bag. And she ended up making a comment, which I feel like a lot of just like, you know, the girlies, especially the blondes, I've noticed, right? They have this confidence of like, I'm such a catch that I don't even need to do nothing and a half in the pot, even though you don't know that I'm a catch, even though you don't know nothing else, and I'm only having to rely on the personality to essentially connect with you. I'm not going to give you that because maybe I'm not used to giving so much and still having the men approach me and still having the men drool over me, right? So in one of the days, she was like, oh, one thing I do know for a fact is that when you see me, you're not going to be disappointed. That defeats the purpose of the whole love is blind. If your personality is giving nothing and a half, you're not vulnerable, you're not opening up, you're not doing any of these things, right? And you're just sitting and waiting that finally somebody's just gonna pick you. And when they see you and they see how beautiful you are, which beautiful girl, oh, the girl is very beautiful, right? Every woman on that show, very beautiful. But the whole point of love is blind is to connect emotionally, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, and all the things before we can even get to the physically. And she was just so determined that her physical is enough, even though this man had no way of seeing her.
Get as deep as we want to get.
Yeah, it's a little bit scary.
It's kind of the point, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I don't do this.
So you have this Sophie girl on a date with Kieran. You have Sophie on a date with Kay, right? And Kay is like, you know, I'm really excited and I want us to just like really open up and get to, you know, be as deep as we possibly can be, right? As deep as we possibly can get. So I can get to know you beyond the superficial, beyond the little flirt, beyond the little hee-hee, the little ha-ha. Because again, if I'm going to propose, I at least need to get to know you a little bit. Let's get a little deeper. Let me get to know you a little bit more. Yeah, I don't do that. That's hard. I don't do that. The man comes back with, ain't that the whole point? She's going to be like, yeah, but I don't do that. It's already a wall between us. Me and you, blah, Bartimea style. We are here to find the love, right? I'm not saying trauma dump on this man because I've reacted of other like episodes that I've done. Like I believe like Madison from like, was it like last was it from last season of like, you know, Minnesota, whatever the case is. I've already seen people who, you know, trauma dump a lot. Nobody was asking you to trauma dump, but at least give something. Anything. No, I don't do that. Why? Part of me feels like because she knows she's a catch, she knows she's a baddie, she knows that outside, you know, in the real world, she probably doesn't have difficulties getting like, you know, the men to come and talk to her and, you know, take her out or whatever the case is. But evidently that hasn't worked out in real life, right? It hasn't worked out, which is why now you are on this screen, my screen, and the screen of the people of God, trying to find your love Bartimaeus style. But now you're sitting over here negating the whole point of the experiment, which is to lead with your heart, lead with your personality, lead with your story, lead with what actually makes you you beyond the physical. But you've probably never had to do that, have you? So I don't do that. Okay, so what exactly was this man supposed to do? And so then he asks her this.
Talk to me about what you want to do with your life, like what are the big things that you feel like, I wish I could do that, and, you know, hopefully with me.
Like, talk to me about maybe some of the other things that you may want to do in your life, hopefully with me. Why this baby gonna say, like, you know, some of mine are a little bit more, you know, superficial. And so he asks, like, okay, what are those things? Comment down below. Am I being just like, you know, a little too hard on her? Because it's like, it didn't make no sense that we're literally on this experiment to get to know each other. Well, that's scary. I don't do that. It's the whole point. So he tries another way. And this baby gonna say this.
There's a few designer bags on that list that I want to hit before I turn a certain age.
Right.
This woman looked this man in the eye and said, it's a couple designer bags that I want to try. It's a couple designer bags that I want to try. Like, what I hate is when these girlies be coming over here and be making me side with the dudes. Something is not right in the atmosphere when I gotta sit over here and have to defend a man. During these tariff times, Sophie, you have me over here defending a man. Like, what? It's a couple designer bags that I have that I might want to try out. And maybe traveling, that was her answer. Literally giving this baby nothing and a half. And so he asked again, so like, okay, how would you define success? Maybe, you know, maybe like the specific and the specific questions, you know, maybe a little hard. Maybe you don't have a sob story to throw my way. Cool. Let's talk about success. Let me get into your thought process and your mind and see, like, you know, maybe what you view, what you value in life. And here's this baby's answer.
I feel like I'm in it right now, if I'm honest.
Sophie, how do you describe success? Currently, I already feel successful. Which again, talk your talk, okay? Talk your talk. Hands down. Talk your talk. Because why not? You've worked hard. Talk your talk. Stand and be confident. This whole fake humility that people want to be on, I've never been a fan of that. You did the work. You feel successful on that. Stand on that. But then she follows it up with this.
I've got success in my life, but not in my love life. Like, it's literally the only thing I'm not successful at. But I don't let people in, if I'm honest.
So your love life is the only place and the only area where you don't feel successful. Which is why, again, you are on my screen blindly. I just want y'all to know this is happening Stevie Wonder style, blind. Legally blind. And then she keeps saying, I don't let people in. And the way she's saying it as if it's like, it's this badge of honor. Your face card alone has not landed you what you say you desire. which is a relationship and a partnership. You are here. And this is not a man who's just trying to be superficial with you. This is a man that's trying to get deep with you and get to know you, get to really know you. You done told him about the luxury bags that you want to get. You done told him about the travel. And you done told him you don't do vulnerability. You don't let people in. Why are you on my screen? Sophie, why are you on my screen? Ultimately, Kieran ends up choosing the other girl, Megan. Okay? Because in between Megan doing this right here, that baby actually opened up. That baby showed her personality. She showed, her zest for life. She showed her excitement. She showed, that she could be chalant. Sophie was giving way too nonchalant because I'm guessing, again, in real life, you've never had to struggle with maybe men approaching you. You're a pretty girl. You've probably just had dudes approaching you, taking you on dates. So you're used to doing the bare minimum. But again, a wall is here. This baby cannot see you. And he's having to make a choice to propose to somebody. And you are coming over here nonchalant. Am I saying beg a man for his love? Absolutely not. If y'all know me, that's not what I stand for at all. But show the person who you are. Show him who you are. You were sitting there nonchalant. Then gonna get mad because Kieran ends up giving Megan a little gift that he got from Japan or something like that. It was some kind of little token. Sophie gonna get mad, talk about her I'm nobody's second option, and she went back in the day gonna talk about I felt disrespected, this, that, and the third. All I know is that in real life, if you saw me, you would not be disappointed. You are here. The plot is in Yemen. Okay? Currently, you are here. Plot Bangladesh. Bangladesh. That's where that was. You are missing the whole point of the experiment. Don't nobody care what you look like. They cannot see you. And if your looks were enough, you would have been married. You wouldn't be on my screen. And then she storms out, gonna talk about how, she really tried to give her best and she's nobody's second. No, you did not give your best. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, you in fact did not give your best. And even in the lounge with the other girls, maybe she was edited wrong, right? Maybe she was edited to be made to seem one way or the other. I'm always mindful of that. I'm always mindful of continuity issues, because Netflix can play in your face for sure. I'm well aware of that. But even in the lounge, she never gave warmth towards even all the other girls. She always felt like she was a baddie, and she just she's the baddie and she gonna be the baddie. Right? Oh, I see all these girls, they ain't got nothing on me. I'm gonna walk in there, give nothing and a half, and these men gonna come and propose to me. So the fact that this Kieran K, the fact that this dude gonna go ahead and give this girl, who in my mind I think I look better than, if he gonna go ahead and give her this little gift, even though I've given him nothing and a half of myself, of my personality, of my story, of my joy, of my, my fears, my cares. I've given him nothing to actually get to know me. But how dare he go ahead and give a gift to somebody that I think is less than me? So she walk in there, she's stoned. She leaves. She's not nobody's second choice. She leaves. Kieran and Megan, they meet. He seems attracted to her. He seems in love with her. Their connection continues to blossom. And I do have to say, thus far, Megan is my favorite with her partner. So far, Kieran, what is this man's name? We're going to call him K. K and Megan, they seem to be the most solid couple to me. He seems to be as attracted to her as she is him. They seem to have a lot of fun together. Their banter seems to be there. And, you know, Megan, she opened herself, but she withheld saying, I love you, because she was like, that's such a big thing. I don't want to just rush to say it. He said it to her and he was like, no pressure. I understand that, you know, we kind of have to move things slow, but I really am, you know, I love you. And, you know, she accepted it. She was just like, you know, very welcoming of it, but she didn't say it back until she herself felt ready, right? So me saying that Sophie should have opened up herself a little bit more is not me arguing that she should be over here drooling for these men who have done nothing and a half. I'm not saying that. But girl, luxury bags, that's what we're talking about. That's as deep as you can get with a man that is supposed to propose to you without ever having seen you. That's as deep as you can get. Luxury bags? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I'm rooting for Kay and Megan. I'm rooting for them. Rooting for them.
Who knew you could fall in love through a wall? I did. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Really like them together. Really like them together. And when it came to the mixer, when he finally saw Sophie, he acknowledged she's a pretty girl. If we're at a bar, I will go talk to her. Which he ends up going to talk to her. Very respectful. Thank you for being part of my journey. Which some of y'all, please take notice, right? This is somebody that is considered his ex because they dated in the past, for sure, right? And so he goes up to her and is like, you know, thank you for being part of my journey. Very respectful, nothing like, you know, again, you can acknowledge somebody looks good without drooling and acting like, you know, you've been paired up with, whatchamacallit, a chimpanzee, okay? You can acknowledge somebody is beautiful without acting and drooling as if the person that's your current match is like, you know, the wizard from the pits of hell. Very respectful, very cutesy with it, very mindful. Thank you for being a part of my journey. I really did enjoy getting to know you, and I apologize again. Maybe I should have handled the whole gifting of Megan differently, which I don't think he needed to apologize for that. But nonetheless, he was a man. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel no way, no how. I should have probably handled things differently. I'm going to give you a hug. Gave her a hug. Went right back to Megan. And mind you, before he even went to talk to Sophie, he went to Megan, was like, hey, I feel like I should go talk to Sophie, say hello, say hi, or whatever the case is. And I just wanted to let you know. Very respectful, very mindful. I loved that. And she was like, yeah, of course, you know, go ahead. Gives her a kiss. Goes to talk to Sophie. As soon as he's not talking to Sophie, for a brief second, goes right back talking to Megan. Right back to Megan. Gives her a kiss. This is how the conversation went. Just to make sure that this girl is not going to be sitting over here imagining and creating scenarios back and forth in her mind. Very respectful, very mindful, very kind with it. Love that for Kay. Love that. I hope they continue to be on this path, because when it comes to all the couples, it's them that I'm excited for. Comment down below and let me know. So then finally we have Javon and Katisha. And sis, you have an unnatural allegiance to losers that I cannot calculate. You're not saying like, I plugged it in. Y'all know I have my equation. I plugged it in. I could not solve for the unnatural allegiance to losers that you seem to possess. I could not figure it out. And you know what pissed me off? Is the fact that you had me out here rooting for a Nigerian man. Katisha, you had me as a woman of God in my house, rooting for a Nigerian man. Katisha. So you have Katisha, who is I'm talking about the lights are on, but nobody's home. I'm talking about even if she was Microsoft, she would not excel. I don't want to call you dumb. I don't. Like, wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster than Usain Bolt. You know what I'm saying? Like, common sense, it's not a fruit that seems to grow in your garden. Like, your head is here, but the brain is in Bermuda. Triangle. Ain't no way you chose Javon over Demola, and you have me over here defending a Nigerian. You have me over here rooting for a Nigerian man. Katisha, please. What was that? So this girl got caught up in a triangle that should not have been a triangle. Javon, Jay, who gave her nothing and a half. I'm talking about nonchalant. I don't give a damn about you. The only thing he cared to ask her was about sex. Literally, that's all he cared to know about her, what she likes in bed. That's all he cared to know. Never gave her no flowers, never really, opened up to her, never really expressed that he even likes her at all. And you had Demola on the other side, planned the dates. Like, was very intentional because, you could request for certain things, for certain dates to essentially be placed in the other person's, room and where they have their little pots or whatever the case is, right? Demola planned really meaningful dates, gave flowers, was just like generally courting her, generally showing his affection, generally like loving on her. And this girl will go in the lounge, admit to herself how much she's self-sabotaging in the moment. I have this J of a guy who's giving me nothing and a half. And I have Demola on the other side who's very reassuring, who's loving on me, who's like treating me like the queen that I am. And this girl goes and chooses Javon, who, by the way, earlier on in the beginning of the episodes, this baby was like, I'm here to win. I don't care what's going on. I'm here to win. So this was always about a competition with him. This was always about him ending up with somebody so he can have more screen time. Y'all.
I feel like I go for very emotionally unavailable men.
I feel like I've always gone for emotionally unavailable men. And I think I'm ready for that love story. Here's the love story. Here's the love story. Love story right here. Shatika comes this close to the love story. She busts a U-turn, reverses, drives all the way off, takes a plane, goes under the sea, says hi to Ariel and what's that crab? Whatchamacallit? Under the sea, that crab. Sebastian comes up out, takes another train, the fast train, all the way to Boo Boo Stupidity Land. That is Javon. This was the love story. You came and you busted an illegal U-turn. Katisha. I'm calm.
Demola is sweet, kind, caring, but I also really like Javon. Javon is a cool guy. I guess more like my usual type.
Demola is kind. Demola is patient. Demola is understanding. Demola is this. Love is kind, but Demola is kind. The love is patient, but Demola is patienter. But I also like Javon because Javon is cool. My usual type, which you've told us the usual type are emotionally unavailable men. which based off of your own words, Demola is not. And you are here to find somebody that is different from your ex. You found the difference. And then you busted an illegal U-turn. Unannounced for no reason. Katisha, you have an unnatural allegiance to losers that I cannot explain or calculate. Okay? It is sad. But what's sad is you have me defending a man, a Nigerian one.
Like in a marriage, for you, how important is sexual chemistry?
This is Javon. And this is the question he asked her. Maybe they were edited wrong. Again, I'm always going to give that as a disclaimer. But this is the question he asked her, right? Right after they were talking about family and family dynamic. She's, Hispanic and Jamaican. He's Jamaican. And they were talking about just like, she had asked him, like, I want to talk about family. How close are you with your family? So he spoke about his sisters and all that stuff and everything in between. So they were talking about family and family dynamic. Now, could they have been edited wrong? Sure. These things can always happen. Sometimes people can be edited wrong. I can acknowledge that. But if they were not, we were talking about family dynamic. This is where we're going to talk about, well, how much is sexual intimacy important to you in a relationship? Katisha, this baby gave you nothing and a half. He was never interested in you. He was never interested in a marriage. He was never interested in pursuing anything further with you. And you just sat there. We talking about family and you trying to cross my canal and you trying to figure out how you gonna cross my canal and how it is important for somebody to cross my canal. Katisha, you may not be the fool, but you're definitely boo-boo. Okay, definitely boo-boo. Boo-boo the fool adjacent. Okay, you and boo-boo the fool go together. Neighbors. Okay, unlike State Farm, not a good neighbor. Not a good neighbor. Because Javon was never on your side. Okay, I need to stop with this analogy. Nationwide is on your side. Javon was not on your side. You and Boo Boo the Fool, though, neighbors. The undertone was giving Boo Boo the Fool. I'm sorry. We're talking about family. This man was bringing up sexual intimacy. It don't even go together. We just finished talking about your sister and my sister. And you gonna talk about sexual intimacy. How much more plain did this man have to let you know that he's not interested in you as a person? How much more plain did he have to make it?
I couldn't sleep last night because one lucky lady, Katisha, was on my mind.
This is how Demola felt about you. In the parts, the boys are singing, Demola is in love, Demola is in love. Couldn't sleep at night thinking about you. They walk into the date, eat some flowers. Courting you. Sharing his intentions, like where he stands with you. Letting you know so you don't have to guess. Emotionally available. Available, displaying his emotion. This man literally, I think like on a different date or maybe the same date, but Demola wrote her a poem expressing his heart and how he feels about her, reassuring her like, I mean this with you, I'm committed to you, like all these things. And so now she's gonna be in the lounge with, I think, Barter. She was talking to Barter. And this baby and my friends, because when we're watching this part of the episodes, it was me, my husband, my sister, and my friend who came to visit us. We're all watching it. And I was just kind of like, I cannot understand this to save my life. Like, just explain to me this level of commitment to stupidity that some of y'all seem to be having, right? And my friend made a point that the reason why she felt unsafe with Demola's display of love towards her is because there's been so much chaos in her dating life, so much uncertainty, and so much emotional unavailability that has become familiar, right? And we all know familiarity sometimes feels like safety. Familiarity can give us a false sense of safety, a false sense of calmness, even though that's not the case. Right? So Demola's gesture of love and appreciation and really being there for her and showing her how much he loves her, that felt strange. That felt unnatural. That felt unfamiliar. So much so that she kept searching, even though with her best effort, with her best, in her right mind, she knows that emotional unavailability has not worked. And she said she doesn't want that. But it has always been familiar because that's all she's known. That's all she's dated. So even though she has better presented to her, she's still seeking the familiarity of the chaos, the emotional unavailability, the uncertainty. Because it's almost like watching her, kung fu and just like fist fight reason and common sense in real time. She really pissed me off, but I felt sad for her. When my friend explained it to me in that sense, I felt sad for her, and it got me thinking like, yes, I know too I've had my toxic ways. I know too that I have, sought after men that gave nothing and a half. And like ladies and gentlemen and the girls and the gals, like those feelings of self-sabotage, that allegiance to toxicity, you gotta give yourself a time frame to nip it in the bud. You gotta really give yourself a time frame, like as of this day forward, I will no longer do stupid things. Mine ended when I was 20, child. I ended mine when I was 20. And it made me sad for her because I'm just kind of like, dang, the commitment to not be loved that so many of us women just gravitate towards you, it has to be studied. I felt bad for because I'm like, dang, like this guy seems to again, I don't know if Demola was going to be interesting along the line. I don't know how the relationship was going to pan out. But to refuse to even explore that because you don't think in your mind that you are deserving of that, it's absolutely insane.
So how do you feel about our connection?
Yeah, I feel pretty comfortable about everything. Ultimately, like, what will be, so.
Playing it cool.
I can't play it any other way.
So you ask this guy, I kind of need to know how you feel about me, and it's just kind of like, I'm cool either way. Or so you playing it cool? That's the only way to play it. Again, it's a game. This guy is playing games with your heart. He's playing games with your mind. And unlike any other date, a lot more is at stake here. We're talking like we're going to get proposed to blindly. We're going to fall in love blindly. We're going to get married within a span of like what? Freaking 3 weeks it is? Is it 4 or 3 weeks? That's like a month or something, if not less.
The thing is that I know where I stand with him. I feel that's why I feel that I don't know where I stand with you. Like, he's been making like grand gestures.
And I'm even gonna say, somebody giving you flowers, that's not even a grand gesture. That's basic. I'm sorry. That is basic. That is basic treatment. That's not even like princess level. That is basic, especially in this setup, right? Because you have to think, production is paying for all these things. So if somebody wanted to even be romantic towards you, which sometimes in real life, there's always that concern of like maybe money, right? Like I may not have all the money. I may not have all the ability to like, create all these special moments. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comment down below and let me know. But from my understanding, production is paying for all these things. So if he wanted to just give you flowers for the sake of just like sensibility, he doesn't even have to pay for it. Production is going to go get that. Production will handle that. If he had to plan like, we're going to get like a nice little meal together, which in one of her dates with Demola, they did like, some, was it Spanish food? It was some kind of foods, and that she had mentioned that she lacks or something like that. If I'm not confusing the couple, correct me in the comments if that's the case. But little things like that. From my understanding, production is helping pay for that, or at least helping facilitate that. So in this scenario, even Demola is not doing the grandiose of things. But where there's a will, there's a way. The way has been made through production. You could turn that dating scene into whatever you want to turn it into. That's on Netflix budget. That's on Kinetics budget. So even the flowers, him not getting you the flowers until the last minute when he realized that he ain't had no other connection and nobody really was taking him seriously for real. Right? And he noticed how vulnerable you were and how easy to manipulate you are. He came with the flowers just to throw you off balance. And of course, because you were used to nothing and a half, you fell for it like a dummy.
I guess on my end, it's like, if I'm not your number one, then that's just the way the cookie crumbles, right? If you're having doubts, I don't want you to be burdened with doubt. Like, I'm cool.
Ultimately, I'm not even going to play a whole lot of the videos, but ultimately she chooses Javon. She chooses Javon. And so back to tying it earlier on when I was talking about Cal, Cal was mad at her for choosing Javon and not choosing Demola. And I was like, Cal, mind the business that pays you. Go find your papa's business, commits to that. Right? Commits to that. But ultimately, they end up breaking it off because this guy was never interested in you. And guess what? For the same guy who tried to manipulate you and successfully actually did manipulate you, and like a dummy, you fell for it. You chose him. Then he ended up weaponizing the fact that you chose him. Oh, you were telling Demola like 24 hours, before you chose me that it was going to be him, and you just changed your mind last minute. How am I supposed to know that last minute, like you just not gonna change your mind about me as well? Whole time he was flirting with everything and anything under the sun. When they were at the mixer, he was flirting with Sophie, flirting with Anu, flirting with this other girl, I think like Yolanda, another girl like in the pots, flirting with everybody, disrespectful, never gave nothing and a half. Never gave nothing and a half. And he weaponized that. But you knew this. Because you said he's exactly like your ex. And if your ex is give nothing and a half, why did you think that he was going to equal to something? Why? Ladies, we got to heal. We got to heal. And I hate it because Demola, he was so sweet. Very kind. And to me, at least, very handsome. I love me a chill guy. Like some of these guys that be like way too cool or trying to appear too cool for their own good. Nothing irks my spirit more than that. I love me a goofy, a happy dude. Like happy alive, just like excited, expressive, jovial, kind. We gotta heal. We gotta heal. This baby was manipulative the whole time. But this wasn't news. Like you knew this from the start, and you literally had a contrast between him and Demola, and you did you an illegal youth. And I'm just kind of like, girl, get off my screen. Get off my screen. And then you had the last couple, Billy and Ashley. And this is the last point I'm going to make. Under no circumstance should you be more committed to a guy than he's committed to you. Which also ties back to the point that I made earlier. When a guy tells you something, believe them the first time. Because Billy and Ashley, okay, you had Ashley fighting for Billy, who is 32, okay, looking like he's about to be 111 within the next couple months. You had this girl fighting for him when he told her, I have dated flight attendants in the past and that hasn't worked. and we have to be honest, I'm a little concerned about that as far as like our lives beyond the pods. She was in there fighting for her life, fighting for her virginity, and fighting for her spot in his life. Because if he really like you, baby, you could live in Mars and that baby would have made it work. If he's really committed to you and more committed to the exploration of your marriage, okay? Where there is a will, there is always a way. If he really loved you more than you loved him, you could have been in Yemen and that baby would have made it work. You could have been in Mars, outer space, that baby would have made it work. So you had this girl talk about like, oh no, we can make it work, we can make it work. And then ultimately, this becomes a level of, contention between them 12 days before the wedding. They're sitting at the beach and this guy brings up the conversation again. Gonna talk about how like, I'm not gonna lie to you, we have to be honest. This job thing is not gonna work. And so now she crunched up about how like, I don't understand. I feel blindsided. What do you mean blindsided? He said it in the pods. He did. Mind you, this is the guy that don't want you to eat sweets. Billy, what was that about? This baby wants you to eat balsam meat and broccoli from Monday to Friday. He be eating rice, broccoli, and minced meat Monday through Friday because he's so disciplined. Like he's so disciplined. And so this baby's like, dang, like I can't eat me like a pound cake. I can't eat me nothing. Like what the hell? When a man tells you where they are, believe them. We women, we will do a whole lot of tootsie rolling and gyrating, and then be shocked and surprised, and then call these guys manipulative or narcissistic. Narcissistic. Did I add more? I'm tired of talking, y'all. I'm tired of talking. Right? But like half the time, these men be telling us exactly where they are, exactly where they stand. We be choosing not to believe them. We be choosing not to. Every time. So this baby wants to be left alone with this rice, broccoli, and balsam meat from Monday to Friday, and he ain't trying to deal with you and your job because she like a flight attendant or something like that. But he said that.
I think there comes a time where you have to kind of be honest with people. I have dated cabin crew in the past and it didn't work out.
Every pace, you've had to convince him that you guys can work. You've had to talk him through the fact that you guys can work and you guys might work. A woman should never have to do that for men. Never. Never. At any given point, you should be able to walk out of that relationship and be able to stand on your own 2 feet by yourself.
There's so many common grounds that we've got, and I get butterflies with you. The thing that I feel with you is that I've got a future that I think could work.
A man should be always able to fight for you. And if he can't fight for you, that baby, you love him and you love the idea of being with him more than he does you. And that's a problem. That is a problem.
With work, there is opportunities to go on the ground. So 9 to 5 work could be in the picture if we wanted to have a family.
It obviously means a lot to me, the family. And
yeah, y'all could call me whatever y'all want to call me. Maybe it's a double standard, but you should have not had to win him over. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am sorry. He expressed the doubt. You ignored it. It would then later come on. No, you win me over. If you love me and you're in love with me, and the biggest concern, let's figure out how you gonna start flying with me on every flight that I'm on. We gonna have to figure it out. I'm sorry. Like, you gonna have to woo me. You gonna have to be the one to win me over. No. And when they met, to me, it always gave like she loved him or loved the idea of being married to him more than he did her. Comment down below, let me know. I could be reading too much into this, but that's unacceptable for me.
So the more we talked about it, this could work. You're my strongest connection.
So ultimately that becomes an issue. Between that and the fact that this baby cannot eat no chocolate chip cookie and has to be sitting over here eating broccoli and the meat every other day. It wasn't giving. And I also didn't like how nosy and Ashley was being with Katisha. Like he just was giving too much. Go worry about your man. Go worry about your man and help him with the skincare routine that's going to reverse the fact that this baby is like 32, looking like Joe Biden's twin. I'm sorry. Probably should not be talking looking like this. Yo, I'm tired. He just look old. All that meat and broccoli, is he not helping you with your youth? Like, he just looks old. He looks really, really old. Comment down below and let me know. Alrighty, y'all, that's it on me. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I did my best. I'm not feeling all the way there. I'm tired. But I was like, let me just get on here and let it do what it do. And I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Watch all my videos. Watch it till the end. Subscribe. Do all of the things. And I appreciate y'all so much. Bye, Z's.